Hi, I'm Darlene, and welcome back to Super at 60. I don't have a recipe for you today. I am so sorry. I'm really sorry. I have a ton of them coming. I just don't have one for you today. The reason I wanted to come on and speak with you and just kind of show my face was because I know I've been gone quite a while. It's been about 2 weeks, and I don't think I've ever done that before. And for any of those of you who may be wondering, where is Darlene? Has she closed up shop? What's going on? My mother passed away about 2 weeks ago. Not even 2 weeks. Yeah, it's not even been 2 weeks yet. Hard to imagine. And it was a trying time, as I know you can imagine. Many of you, I left messages and notes and pictures and whatnot over on the community tab as best I could to keep you guys updated, but I know not everyone has access to the community tab for one reason or another. So I just wanted to come on and I wanted to just briefly update you on a little bit about what's been going on. And I mean briefly, I'll just be here for a minute. Yes, my mother passed away. She lives with my brother. She lived with my brother. My other brother came in from out of town, and Lou, of course, was with me and all of us, and we were there with her the whole time. She was in a hospital bed in my brother's house. Hospice had come in, and we were given 3 to 5 days, and just about at the tail end of that, she started going real fast. We called the nurse, and the nurse came and said, "You have just mere hours." And I'll tell you what, if you've never been told that about a loved one, that you have mere hours, it is unbelievable how much agony collects, like right here and in your heart. And there's really nowhere to go with it because there's no stopping this freight train. There's no stopping death. Death is going to come, and death did come. But not before I was able to go in there, all of us really, and hold her hand and tell her once again, we told her so many times, "I love you, Mom. I love you, Mom. I will miss you, Mom. How am I supposed to go on, Mom?" All those. Sorry. All those daughter things, I guess. I saw it in my brothers as well, though. You love your mom. It doesn't matter, a daughter or a son. You love your mom. And seeing her, she had gotten so tiny and so frail, just laying there. One day, sweet little story, I was talking to her and she was in and out. This was still within the 3 to 5 day range they had given us for her. And she put her hand on my face. I have pain on my face sometimes, and she knew it. It's been over 30 years now. It's something that I live with. I'll tell you about it at another time. But she put her little sweet, cool hand up to my face and she said, "How are you today?" And I said, "I'm good, Mom. How are you?" And she said, "What can I do for you today? What can I do? Have you had breakfast?" Now, keep in mind, she was saying this in the tiniest, frailest voice imaginable. I had to really listen hard to hear it. And she said, "Can I make you some oatmeal?" And then she closed her eyes. You know what? I really wanted oatmeal from her. I really wanted her to get up from that bed, and I wanted her to make oatmeal. How silly, how silly. And if she could have, she would have. But she just laid her little head back down and went to sleep. We all have little stories. All of the family members have little stories of going in with her and little things she would say. At one point, she took her hand and she pointed it up as though she was looking at something in the room. Up, she was looking at something. Not in the room, this was past the room, past the house, past space it looked like. And she just looked up and she said, "It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful." And I wanted to know. I said, "Mom, what? What is it? What are you seeing? What are you seeing? What are you hearing? Who's there?" And she would just leave little snippets like that and then fall back asleep again. I'll never know, I guess, what it was she was seeing, and it really doesn't matter. She saw it, and she had a smile on her face, and she was happy. She was so happy. She died happy. She did, because she knew her family loved her, and she knew, most of all, where she was going. We all knew that. Her funeral was beautiful. It was packed with a punch with the gospel, just exactly the way she would have wanted it. Her grandchildren, they all sang, and they were fantastic. My two sons and my daughter-in-law, they did a wonderful job. My husband did the eulogy. He did a wonderful job presenting the gospel, speaking about her life. The pastor did a short little talk on Miss Joan. They called her Miss Joan there at this little sweet little Baptist church where she went. And then the ladies of the church did a gorgeous little luncheon afterwards. It was so lovely for everyone to come and share memories. And there was a lot of laughter. I just took a few minutes and stood in the room and just listened. You could hear everyone just chattering, and there was laughter going on. And oh, she would have been so happy. So totally and completely happy. So that is why I have been missing. And that is why I may not be back for, I don't know, just give me another week. If you could just give me another week. Hang in there with me. But I did want to touch base with you. And that is the sole reason for the video today. That's it. The only reason. I do want to finish the video right here. But I wanted to read something that I printed. I had printed in her, this sweet little bulletin that my daughter-in-law put together, the artwork, and just got it all together. And that was for my mom. It was, I hope you can see that. It was lovely. She loved flowers, and there were so many flowers, so many flowers. And thank you so much for your comments and your gifts and your cards and your texts and your emails and just your comments over on the community tab. I tried to keep you posted over there as best as I could. And honestly, your notes, your passionate, heartfelt comments to me, I want you to know that I read them, and I read them many times over, and I am still reading them. So, you know, if you have a comment, if you want to shoot me something, you know, just send a text or send an email to me if you like. I would love to chat with you, and you could go leave a comment back over there on the community tab. But inside here, I listed some of her favorite things that she loved, you know, foods and shows and movies and books and things like that. Things that made her smile. I listed a bunch of stuff like that. Of course, the very first one on the list was my dad. He always made her smile, and her family. And then I wrote this about my mom. I knew my mom well. My mom and I were best friends. I've lost my best friend. And that, for me, is the hardest thing to swallow. Because I don't make friends quickly and easily, you know. But I had my mom for 63 years. It's pretty special to have a best friend for 63 years. I said her most cherished relationship was Jesus Christ. If Joan had one thing she could say to each of you this day, she would tell you to be certain you are right with God. Get to know him personally. Walk with him, talk with him, invite him into your heart. And bear much fruit with your life. Be totally unashamed of the gospel. Always put others first and live a quiet and a peaceful life. I wish that for you more than anything. My mother loved my little Super at 60 show, my little tiny piece of YouTube land. I am small potatoes. I am well aware of that. That's okay. I guess I'm kind of like a tater tot channel, if you will. But I love each and every one of you, and I think you are the dearest, sweetest, and most kindest people. And if I could ever meet you someday, I would go out of my way to meet you if it was at all possible. So I will say goodbye for now, but I will see you hopefully next week. Probably most definitely next week, because my mom loves Super 60, and she would be very, very disappointed if I gave it up out of just being depleted and mourning and all that kind of stuff. She would say, she'd be the first one to say, get up, girl, and get going. Pick your favorite recipe. I do have a beautiful recipe that I'd like to share with you probably next, called a French coffee cake. It has a cute little story to it. It was hers. And it's a beautiful, delicious delicious cake. So I'm going to probably be sharing that with you first step. It won't be part of my super simple suppers, which I will continue on that as well, because I've got them backed up. I've got some wonderful ones for you, and I'm really glad that you enjoyed the last one that I put out. That's gotten some wonderful views. If you haven't seen it yet, you might want to see it. So I just want to thank you again so much for being there for me during this really, really, really rough time with my family. And I will see you very soon. Lord bless. Bye now.